Hey everyone, John here from Gaming in the Wild, and I've got something very different for you today. I don't know if you know this, but Gaming in the Wild started out as a podcast before it was a YouTube channel, and I really like making long-form content. I think it's a really good contrast to the shorter, snappy YouTube videos you know me for, so I'm going to put one of my podcasts here for you to check out. It's a Games of the Year discussion with one of my favourite video game podcasters, Ben from the Mimic's Veil podcast, which I really recommend that you check out. Link on the screen now if you'd like to. Me and Ben talked for over an hour about all of our Game of the Year deliberations. We went through a lot of games like Death Stranding 2, Dispatch, Consume Me, Absolume, Silksong, Hades II, and so many more. It was a really enjoyable chat. We recorded it just before the Game Awards happened, so if there's any references to the Game Awards, that will be why. I also made a classic podcaster error and forgot to press record on my side of the recording, so we had to do the first 2 minutes of the podcast again. But I was really happy with how it turned out, and Ben is a great guy, so I hope that you enjoy this. Let me know in the comments if you do. Likes are appreciated, subs for more like this in your feed. You can also head over to the Patreon and join for as little as $1, and I have game codes to give to new patrons to celebrate 1 million plays. So if you sign up at any tier, you will get a code for either 1,000 Times Resist, Ultros, Citizen Sleeper, or Gareth Damian Martin's first game, In Other Waters. So head over to the Patreon now if you'd like to join up, support this channel, and get a game code. And with that said, let's get on with the video. Here's my Games of the Year chat with Ben from the Mimic's Veil. It's my pleasure to have this week on the show Benji Kong, aka Ben, or Ben, aka Benji Kong. Don't know which one's your favourite. From the Mimic's Veil. A great new podcast that I've been listening to religiously since it started. Hey Ben, how's it going?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. What a lovely intro, John. Thank you very much. Second time around. It was great.
Yeah, I've been a huge fan of Mimic's Veil, man. It's like the vibe of it is so nice. You know, I guess all of us who listen to games media have like maybe a diet that skews American and there's like a quite high tempo to it. So I really, really like chilled out English UK vibes, like Pixel Parents and like the computer game show.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Mimic's Veil slots straight into that. It's got like this round the pub table vibe, and that is the concept too, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we were going for. Very much, even to the point of every episode starting mid-conversation. We didn't want to do the whole podcast intro thing that sometimes takes up half an episode on other podcasts. We just wanted to do it as if basically the concept is you're in a pub and you just overhear three mates talking about video games, and that's the vibe we were going for. And yeah, I think you're right. My podcast tastes always skew towards America because that's where most of the content comes from. But yeah, like hearing podcasts like Gaming in the Wild, it was like, yes, there is a sort of slower pace and a more sort of thoughtful way to do this as well. So yeah, the respect is very much mutual. So thank you.
But yeah, as for our own lists, I mean, as you've said, you get into Game of the Year season. I get into it as well. I really like listening to your stuff on this. Like, I often find myself like listening to Mimic's Veil and sort of nodding sagely at what you're saying. Like, yeah, Ben knows a thing or two. And he's like, I think we've got a lot of crossover in our games, our tasting games.
Yeah.
And maybe both had this like slightly evaluating mindset coming into Game of the Year time that makes it really fun. I really like ranking my list. I love it. I love this opportunity to just list things out and, uplift all of the good shit that I played. And we've both got a little list here. I mean, you will do your Games of the Year on Mimic's Veil for sure, and I can't wait for it. I will do one on Gaming in the Wild, and there'll be like a community vote on Gaming in the Wild as well. But as everyone is talking about it and thinking about it, I thought it might be fun just to do a little showing our workings kind of conversation about maybe some games that are in the running.
Yep.
Some games that are like gunning for a position, some games, maybe some that we're yet to play, some that we're kind of thinking about for the top spot, but, need to talk about a bit more. So like a little bit of a pre-Games of the Year chat.
Yes, that sounds good. This is exactly what I need to help me pull my list together for the Mimic's Veil as well. Because, it's, as I said, it's all just floating around in the ether at the moment. So, yeah, this is kind of like a therapy session for me. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's good for me too as well. I'm going to have like, I think across the course of December, like a few friends of the podcast and fellow podcasters like yourself on to sort of talk about some oddball picks and curveball picks and get the lay of the land. So I think it's going to be a really good therapy session for me as well. So we both picked out like 6 games each.
Yep.
None of ours are the same. That's good. So we've got 12 different games to talk about. I think I have played, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've played 4 of yours, some of them. Like some of each. I've not played 2 of them. But let's kick off with one of yours.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Any in particular off that list that tickles your fancy?
We can just go from the top if you like.
Yeah, I think probably the first one then is, and this is one I can remember I DM'd you about this while I was playing it several months ago, and this is OO, so that's OOO, and the first O has an umlaut over the top. This was like a puzzle platformer, really short indie game. I think it's like 2 hours to finish, which, you know, I don't know about you, John, but that is music to my ears whenever I hear that. So yeah, it's a really, really brilliantly and cleverly designed game. It's just one of those where, so it's a puzzlevania. So basically,
am I right in thinking this is the guy who made a Leckhead, where you jump from the floor to the ceiling and magnetize yourself? So it was like ingenious puzzling kind of thing.
Yeah. And I would say I liked a Leckhead a lot, but I think this is that sort of same ethos, but more refined and more boiled down. And it's just, it's so clever in that you can basically, it's a Metroidvania in that you learn new moves that allow you to progress, but you actually can do them from the start. You just don't know how to do them. So the game cleverly sort of teaches you how to do that. So you're solving all these puzzles by working out, oh, well, I can actually get to that platform by doing this or doing that. And then that opens the next area for you. And the whole time I was playing it, I was just like, man, I wish I was clever enough to make games, because whoever's brain this has come out of is just somehow making me feel like a genius for solving it. But they're the ones that have created it in the first place. It's really good. And I genuinely think you would like it, because I know I can remember you expressing some frustration with sort of puzzly kind of games in the past. I can't remember which ones in particular, but I remember thinking, it's surprising, because you're a smart guy. So I just think, oh, John can do everything. But yeah, this one in particular, I think, has got a really nice way of introducing those puzzles and sort of steering you towards the answer in a satisfying way. And it's just pure game design, sort of in its purest, most distilled form. I think OO is up there, definitely.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I think I've talked about puzzle games in the past for sure. Like, there are hits and misses for me, right? Like something like what's that one where you like a little cat thing, top down, you're like pushing things around into certain orders, and it's quite hard.
Baba Is You.
Baba Is You. Well done. That was we got there fast. Baba Is You. Like, I played 3-4 levels and was like nailing them and was like, wow, this is fun. And then you just get to one where you're like, no, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm staring at the screen for half an hour and like, no, this is annoying.
Yeah, I think that might be the end of my time with Baba Is You. You know what I mean? And then there are other games like The Pedestrian, which is that one where you're in little sort of city signage, and it has little plugs and systems, same kind of thing, where you just fly through it and you feel like you're in like mental lockstep with the designer, and it's a amazing, almost euphoric feeling.
Yeah.
And so I think that for me, it can go from euphoria to like nope. And like, I don't know what makes those scales tip in each direction. I think maybe it varies from person to person. It's like, how are we grokking what is being given? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're all wired differently. But I do think, giving this 2 hours, I mean, obviously, if you reach that point of frustration, I really can't imagine you will, though. I think it is quite...
I think it's quite a friendly one.
Yeah, and quite well telegraphed in terms of you're in a room. There must be a way out of the room. You try a few different things, and one of them works. It's brilliant, really good.
What's the gimmick in this one? If it was like magnetism on a Leckhead, what's the thing?
So the gimmick is so you're playing as a caterpillar, I think. So with 3 sections, and basically that's where the title comes from. So the OO, when it's written down, looks like the main character. So the umlaut makes the 2 little antenna, basically, which is nice as well. And you can use your 2 kind of tail pieces as bombs. So it's a little bit like Bomb Chicken, if you ever played that back in the day, where you're basically using those to navigate platforms and get past enemies and things like that. But there's no real combat per se, so it's all very, very chill. Very, very smartly designed, as I said. Really good one.
Okay. I think that's going to go onto my list. I have to play a bit of Ooh. I think it's quite a cheap one as well, right, on Steam?
Yeah, I think maybe a $5. Feels like, it wouldn't be too much more than that.
I'll try a bit of that one.
Excellent. My work here is done.
Let's wrap it. That's it. Game of the year. The first one I got on my list is one that you mentioned that we've both been playing, your current obsession, my unlikeliest ever obsession, probably. The first extraction shooter I've ever played, literally.
Mm-hmm.
The first online multiplayer game that I've played for more than an hour. Arc Raiders. Wasn't expecting to like it, but saw that poster, saw that Star Wars-esque outfit, and that kind of Polaroid packaging, striped logo, the font, and the trailer. I think I have to play this. This looks nice. And then got in there with a friend, and I've been playing a lot of it. It's been really interesting to play an evolving game, right? Because I've observed from the sidelines, the fan base of a game, commenting on its unfolding nature.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a part of it before, so it's kind of the first time. The meta, the unfolding, the etiquette and the behaviors, and the new inclusions of a game as a live service game is a new experience for me. And I've been loving life in Arc Raiders. I guess it's custom made for Mimic's Veil because you can have a 3-person squad. It's 1, 2, or 3 people, and so the 3 of you have just you managed to pull Lewis out of his basement and get him on, and off you went, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost the antithesis of what game we normally play as well. We've got our tastes align quite closely. So yeah, getting the fact that we all 3 of us have played it and all enjoyed it, and we're playing some of it solo, we're playing some of it as a trio. We've got some of the other guys in Discord I was playing with last night and managed to take down a leaper for the first time, which was very satisfying to do. We did it in the most
hard. They take a lot of hits.
Oh, we did it in a very cowardly way, though. There was a big kind of sort of sewage pipe opening, and I said, right, if we go and hide in there and then shoot the leaper, I don't think it can jump through here, so we'll be able to shoot it from the cover of this pipe, and it worked. So yeah, there's ways to get around skill issues as well, which is good.
Yeah, I saw a clip on social media of someone that was extracting and then had a leaper somehow land in the well. The ones where you open a little well and you slide down, and it got in there and was just glitching and kind of panicking. Oh. And it's not supposed to get down there. It shouldn't be able to get down there, but it managed to get down there.
Yeah.
I think me and Kieran took out one of those too. We in a car park. And we were hiding in the parking office, just leaning out of the window and shooting its knee for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it takes a while because they're completely armor clad, and if you don't hit the eye, I think that, you barely do any damage at all. But I was listening to, exactly. I know you listen to No Clip as well, don't you? And Danny on there was talking about how those leapers, I think, use machine learning. They've got some kind of locomotion brain so that they can get in unexpected places and things like that. So they can figure out how to move their limbs to get into that well and to scramble around in there. So yeah, it's terrifying. The first time I shot at one at a distance and it leapt 300 meters and landed on top of us. I was like, how is this happening? But yeah, just story after story of stuff like that happening in that game. It's just, I don't think I've ever had as much fun and laughed as much playing a game just from the just sheer chaos that unravels. It's, every run is a story, right? That's what surprised me about it. I've always thought of extraction shooters as competitive and mechanical and highly focused, and you get your headshots and then you get out. But Arc Raiders is you're put in at a corner of the map with a friend or solo. You can play it solo if you want, or 2 or 3 people. I've mostly been playing it in a 2. And then you explore the map, you scavenge. So it's a little bit like Last of Us moment to moment. You're opening drawers looking for bandages, basically. If you've been Joel Lorelli, then you'll know what the scavenging gameplay feels like. And then the more that the time clicks on, the sooner it is you have to get out. You get half an hour, basically, before you have to extract. You can extract at any point. There are various points on the map where you can do it. And the aim of the game, I mean, in the early game at least, is just getting stuff to power up, right? Getting stronger, getting materials to build out your base and to get that little pyramid scheme of upgrading all your stuff going. But each run kind of becomes a story, and that's what's really gotten me about it. There were times when Kieran and I will talk about
the disaster run where we came in together. We were like polishing off our quests, and then we saw a bombardier that was on its last legs. It was like limping, and we were like, "Oh, we can just pop that off now." And it popped us off. Like we took a shot at it, and we were dead in seconds. It just like finished us, and we're both just crawling across the landscape, doing our little help. Anyone got a med kit? Help! Doing this, and then we both die. And that was the disaster run. That was a story. It was the time we picked on a bombardier and shouldn't have. And then there's the time when you meet a gang of 3 that are under heavy fire from arcs. They've attracted everything on the map, and so you go over and help them. And then you're all standing there going like, yeah. And that was the time that we made friends on the city map. Then there's another time when someone tries to shoot you in the back of the head. You're running. Your friend's trying to get around the corner and help you. And it's like the aggressive tussle. So each one feels like an emergent story of its own in a way that I wasn't expecting.
No, and I think that's probably what surprised me the most is, I'm not ashamed to admit, I'm probably being a bit snooty about anything shooty. Snooty about shooty prior to playing this game. But I think I can see the value in it now, and I can see the entertainment and what you get from it is, those stories and particularly having them with friends, that's no less valuable than playing, the coolest indie game in the world. It's
enjoying some art.
Exactly, just enjoying some art. It's been surprisingly good fun, and it's going to be high on my list as well, I'd imagine.
Right, it's a tricky one to do. Like if you've had the best time of the year playing with friends and like having these like great memories of playing it in a completely different way to anything else that you've played that's on your list, that's going to be a tough one. It's like how do we ascribe quality to something like Arc Raiders by comparison to, like a Sony single player epic?
Yeah. Or, the next one on my list couldn't be more different from Arc Raiders. So Keep Driving is another one, which is like complete opposite. Side-scrolling, basically very, very indie, kind of light RPG where you are going from one side of a map to the other in a car. You encounter various things, like there'll be a cow crossing the road, and you then have to do a very simple kind of card battle against this cow to get past that obstacle, and little things like that. You pick up hitchhikers along the way, which will have various buffs and negative status effects as well. And it's all very kind of mechanically very, very good fun. But I think it's the extra, it's the vibe of it. And I know vibe is such a vague word, but it's the feeling that the music and the look of it just feels so grungy and so of a time. I think the music is all new, but it feels sort of mid-90s-ish.
Maybe it's for our age group as well. It's like, I guess maybe I'm a couple of years older than you, but like probably if you've been to a music festival in the 90s, you've like had a boot full of beer and like a few CDs to play, and you've made that journey, right?
Exactly. And it just captures that feeling really, really well. And I didn't put a great deal of time into it, but it's one of those, the time that I did spend with it feels like it was well spent. It feels like great quality and just a really nicely honed idea of a game. It didn't feel like it was trying to do too much. It didn't overstretch itself. It didn't overstay its welcome. It's just and we're all about cool games on the Mimic's Vale, and to me, this feels like one of the coolest games that I've played this year, definitely. And it's not
the guy looks like a hipster as well. Have you seen the developer?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not my kind of music either at all. So you're like a dance music guy, like electronic music guy, right? Yeah, that and sort of hip hop and stuff like that. So to hear that sort of music but still be sort of swept up in it all was it must have been doing something right. But I think that's another one definitely worth checking out if you haven't already.
Yeah, I played this one and got one ending, saw credits, so completed a run, and then I was like, okay, that was nice. Yeah. And then like went on to the next game. And then as I've been kind of going through the year, I've thought, but there are so many more endings. Like I never got to the festival. There are many divergent paths in this game. Like life can happen to you on this journey based on who you pick up, who you meet, and like strange letter you get, like a call from a distant family member.
Yeah.
And you can end in all sorts of ways. Maybe you're supposed to keep playing until you get to the festival. Did you ever get there?
I think I did. But I only did one run, but I think that run I managed to get to the festival and then roll credits. But yeah, I didn't feel compelled to go back to it. I think, again, the nature of the beast of having a weekly podcast is, okay, check that one off the list. Next thing, next stimulus, what's it going to be? But if I was a normal human being, I think I probably would have gone back and played it several times over.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what happens at the festival. I think on my ending, it's not a spoiler because there's like 30 of them or something. Just like inherited a piece of land and started a new life.
Nice.
I'll
that's
take
good.
that as canon.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, good little game, that one. It's in my lower crust bubblers.
Okay, good. Good to know. Good to know.
But the next one I've got here is a really big game. I don't know if you played this one. I do listen to Mimic's Vale every week, but I can't remember you guys talking about it. It's Death Stranding 2.
I played about the opening hour.
All right.
So you carry on. I'll chime in afterwards.
That's an expensive hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played the first game and I was like, loved it and hated it. Sort of despised some aspects of it in a way that is really unusual. Like literally hated. But adored some other aspects of it in a way that's also really unusual. So it's probably the game that has pulled me the most in both directions, as far as really loving some stuff that's doing and really not liking some stuff that's doing. But the traversal stuff I loved, like finding your way across mountains, being lonely in a large landscape, and puzzle solving every river and every boulder, was just so gripping to me. It was like a traversal game of my dreams. And then you had the story.
The wanky Kojima story. Yeah.
Wow. So bad, man. So bad. And so when 2 came out, I was like, yeah, I have to play it, obviously. And had my doubts at first, because the story is, if anything, worse. It sort of doubles down on a lot of stuff. But the traversal gameplay is better, and the combat gameplay is incredibly improved. I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 5, and I think I haven't played one since Metal Gear Solid 2. But people tell me about Kojima's like third-person 3D combat as being like the gold standard. And having played it in Death Stranding 2, I can see why. Like the stealth, the movement, the way that guns handle and feel, and the way that the little details of like animations when you take out something different, or like, you know, when you get spotted, how you can see that light coming. It's all just like silk. So to my surprise, the combat in Death Stranding 2 was a big part of the appeal. Normally in that kind of game, I'd be like trudging across the landscape, listening to low roar, having a good time.
Yeah.
And I get a combat mission and we'd be like, oh, here we go. Okay, let's get this over with. But I started actually looking forward to combat missions, because you have to puzzle solve the base. Like you walk around, look down into it, and you're like, okay, if I come in there, you know, and build a radar tower, then I can see where their guards are. And so you're doing this Metal Gear stuff. And then it also has these like iconic cutscenes, which is not a phrase that I think I've ever used, but there were like 3-4 times in the game where there's like a 2-minute sequence. You put down the controller and watch something happen. And the performance capture is just bonkers. It's like as real as I've ever seen. And they are staged directorial numbers, almost like a music video vibe. And that too is like some of the most memorable moments of the year, I think, are watching someone dance in Death Stranding 2 in a really unexpected way and being like, what am I? This is like art house something.
Yeah.
And at the end of it all, I came away thinking, I think I just played like maybe the best game, maybe with the worst writing. Like what was that experience? You know what I mean? So that's where I came down on it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's so I had a very similar experience with Death Stranding 1. I never finished it. I got quite deep into it, but I think ultimately it was those encounters that put me off. So it was you're walking about, this is all good, and then suddenly it gets dark, and then you have to fight something, and you just die, and then restart. And I don't know, it just felt a bit too grim for the time that I was playing it. So I watched a recap of the story, because I was like, I'm never going to finish Death Stranding 1. I want to play Death Stranding 2. Let's watch a recap of the story. Am I any the wiser as to what the fuck happens in Death Stranding? No, not a clue. So I jumped into it, immediately struck by how it looks. I think it might be the best looking game I've ever seen.
Yeah. I think the Decima engine, I think my previous best looking game was Forbidden West.
Right, yeah.
And this just takes that engine and makes it realistic light rather than like contrasty fantasy light.
Yeah. Incredible. And I got about an hour into it and I was really enjoying it. And then I thought, I do not have the time to start this game. I don't know if I was halfway through something else at the time, but I just kind of went, I need to put this aside. And when I've got time, I will come back to it. So this, for me, is one that I absolutely intend to get back to. At least give it a good college try before I decide on my final list for the year, because it's got all the bits and pieces that could definitely put it high up my list. But it's just, I need to give it the time that it deserves.
I was so curious where you come down on it. Because I hated the combat in Death Stranding as well. I was like, can we just walk? Like, do we have to fight these like faceless, nothing automatons?
Yeah.
But now fighting them is incredibly fun. The base designs, like you sort of looking down and seeing the patrols, and like suddenly you're like, oh, I think I'm going to use my little stunning cattle prod for this one and just go on foot and crouch in the bushes. Or sometimes you're like, if I can get on top of this factory, I can shoot them all from range. Or like, you're actually having to think about it, and it's fun. It's fun. It's like you're planning. You can also knock difficulty down. The difficulty in that game is awesome. I went straight onto easy, like shamelessly. Just wanted to get through it, and that meant that I won the combat all the time.
Brilliant.
And that suited me fine. I was trying to get through the game,
You're preaching to the choir here. That is definitely my default. It's straight onto as easy as possible, please.
Yeah. So Sam, like the role play might have suffered a little bit. Sam's definitely like Rambo in my reading of the game in that respect. I'll be interested to see what you think of that one when you get to it.
Yeah, cool. So I'm going to jump ahead on my list to another one. And obviously, we spoke about Arc Raiders, and neither of us being online gamers particularly. But another one that has captured my attention I think I've put about 20 hours into it so far this year is Rematch. The what do they call it? FIFU, don't they? The follow up to Sifu with Rocket League with people as well.
Never heard FIFU before, but thanks for introducing.
There we go. So yeah, this is and again, I'm not really a big football fan either, so this doesn't really jump off the page as something that I would be into. But we gave it a try, and again, it just for a good couple of weekends in a row, it really did just have that one more game factor. And I know you're a football fan, aren't you? So have you given this a go?
I did have a little swing at it. This is a game for like proper gamers, isn't it? You've got to have your good reactions. You've got to remember your combos.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got through the tutorial, and felt like I needed to do it 10 more times to be able to score a goal.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know, man.
That's
I don't know.
fair.
So I didn't, but I know friends that did get it, like Kieran, who I play Arc Raiders with. He's more of a sort of soulsy gamer, like enjoys games where reaction speed's a factor and like it's very mentally active all the time gameplay.
Yeah.
And that's Rematch, isn't it? You've got to be on your toes.
It is, and the control scheme is quite unwieldy as well. There's, it controls nothing like FIFA or a traditional football game. It's you've got a reticle like you would in a third-person shooter, and that's how you shoot. And it's to wrap your head around that does take. I mean, it took me several hours to begin with.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know that it took you a while too, because you kind of pause what you're doing and then have to control the aim, right? It's like it's two halves of your brain working at once in a way that's like, maybe if you can get there, I can imagine it being like a Zen state though.
Yeah, it is. But and also as a multiplayer thing, so we've had a few games again with guys in our Discord, and we've had fun because we're all terrible at it, and there's there's varying skill levels, but Alex, for example, hasn't put as much time into it, and there was one moment where he got the ball and basically an open goal, but he was just shooting against the wall 4 or 5 times in a row, and just the ball would just hit off the wall and bounce back to him. And it was just those silly, as we were saying with Arc Raiders, those silly little moments that are just like this is ridiculous. It's provided several of them as well, to a lesser extent than Arc Raiders. So I initially had this locked in as my one little. Okay, I'm gonna have an online game on my list this year. This will be different. But now
it's an online gamer list.
Exactly, yeah. But I think Arc Raiders will probably supersede it. But still worth a shout. It's an upper crust bubbler. Let's say.
Do you think you'll get any more rounds into it?
I'd like to. It's another one of those where. So I played a bit of Rocket League back in the day, and that was one that I sometimes go back to and have a little match if we, fancy being sociable for a change. So yeah, I could certainly see this being one that, friends and I go back to occasionally. But yeah, those opportunities are sort of few and far between, aren't they? The older you get and the more busy you get.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I actually had Rematch on my fantasy critic team in the Gaming in the Wild League, and it was one of my big flops of the year. I had a couple of games that I was like, I think they're an 82. They're safe.
Yeah.
One of them was Skin Deep from Annapurna, the ImSim, Spaceship ImSim. That got a 70. And I think Rematch was a 70 as well, so it was 0 for both of those games. Damn. So, but I think from reading the reviews, it was like buggy or there was matchmaking issues at launch or something like that. So it kind of, but people that love it seem to love it. So
yeah, it definitely evened itself out after the first couple of weeks, and but that's the same
late year reviews. I score.
If only they listened to our podcast, and then yeah. But it's one of those. I think all online games are a bit like that. I think it's just they take a while to settle down and bed in, and
maybe not smart for fantasy critic generally.
No.
I will usually counterpick an online game.
Yeah, very wise. Slight tangent. What? How are you doing now in your league? Are you because you won it last year, didn't you? Embarrassingly,
I won it last year. Embarrassing. It was. This year, I'm not going to win it. I'm second. Okay. I've got 2 games left to go. Mixtape got cancelled. I mean, delayed. Pony Island 2 got bumped out of the year, so I had to drop those 2. And I've got like a motley crew. I've got Routine.
I don't know that one.
Left to come. They started making it in 2013. It was all but cancelled. Raw Fury pulled it out of its grave, and now it's coming out. It's like a Dead Spacey moon-based thing.
Cool.
And I've got like, what's the other one called even? It's like Sleep Awake. It's another horror game. It's like a psychedelic horror game. So I've got 2 horror wild cards to try and scramble to the top.
Wow. Tricky. Yeah.
How about you?
Well, mine is, all of my picks have come out, and they all landed in the 80s. So
nice,
pretty solid. I'm on top at the moment as things stand. Couple of guys like Alex is close to me. Another guy, Phil, in our Discord is.
Alex was waiting for Mixtape, wasn't he?
He was.
So did he manage to drop it?
He's dropped it. I can't remember what he's got instead, but yeah, brilliantly. Mixtape was delayed the same day that Lumines Arise came out, and Lumines Arise was my last pick. And
damn,
Alex's
the
Alex's favorite game in the world is Lumines as well. So I was like, oh, this could not get any sweeter. That was
horrible.
Yeah, loved it. Anyway, sidebar over.
Sidebar over. And yeah, I mean, the next one on my list is actually the one that I was most surprised to not see at the Game Awards. Citizen Sleeper 2. I think it got a meta 86 or something. It was a January release, which maybe is not on your side as a Game Awards pick, but I thought it was brilliant. I do know that, like, did you play Citizen Sleeper?
Yes. Yep. Loved
and
it.
This one too?
Yep.
Because there's been some mixed opinion about how this game compares to the first one, right? Some fans of the first one have felt that it's a bit hard, or a bit like more challenging, or like they found themselves with no resources in a tailspin, and like several people I know have restarted the game. Which was a real surprise to me because I waltzed through it pretty well. Did take damage, did have broken dice. Maybe it was just okay with that in a way that some folks aren't.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think you're supposed to win, are you? Like I think you the dice roll and you go along with it, and that's the nature.
Yeah, and
of
I was
game.
definitely a broken sleeper for some part of in the middle of that game. I was a pretty broken sleeper. Yeah, like sleeping a lot to try and do a simple task.
Exactly. Yeah, with cracked dice and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. But really loved the game. I think the promise of like Erlin's Eye being one space station but you hear all these little whispers in the story, like about the Starwood Belt, about the Ice Moon, about where people are coming from and where they're going. And like this game, we actually got them. Like it feels like a miracle game. It's like we got to go out into that belt and see what's out there. And Gareth made it real for us.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It was like a huge gift, it felt like, to just get to spend more time in that world. A little bit more mechanically involved, a little bit more resistance and abrasion with the skill checks, stress mechanics, things like that. But ultimately, one of my favorites of the year, I think.
Yeah, and kicked off a year of indie sequels as well, which we don't often get, but that was like the first one where like, this is how you do a sequel. It felt a lot more expansive than the first game. I think in that it maybe lost a little bit of the sort of solitude and the stuff that people are complaining about Metroid Prime 4 now, where we've got other people here to communicate with.
Yeah.
There was a bit of that.
Samus in a social situation as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Does she do that?
Yeah. And that was a little bit jarring for me in Citizen Sleeper 2 to begin with, was, so now I'm just hanging out with a gang. But you soon get used to it. And I think the positives definitely outweighed the negatives on that front. And yeah, I just love the design of it. Again, I think the UI is exquisite. The music, Amos Roddy, just another like flawless soundtrack. So yeah, definitely up there for me as well. That is locked in for my top 10.
Very nice. I'll be curious to see where it comes down. It's like it's an upper like it's in my sort of higher realms at the moment. I'm kind of trying to balance that against other things. Like you say, so many sequels. And I think sometimes a sequel means that game doesn't have the novelty value that might like Clair Obscur had this surprise value to it. We didn't know it was coming, and like it's a new world, it's a new team, it's got that sort of fresh excitement to it. Sometimes a sequel's like an extension of a game you've played before, and so it's a different kind of appreciation you have for it. I think it's actually quite hard for sequels to climb the top of the pile in GOTY time.
I think it is, and I think, for example, I don't think Silksong is going to be on my list. I've played several hours of it, but enough to go, okay, I see what this is, and no thanks. And even Hades 2, like I loved Hades, and I played Hades 2 in early access, and I got it for Switch as soon as it came out, and I was just like, okay, cool, I get it, and that was it. It hasn't grabbed me the same way as the original did, because it's just an extension of that, and brilliant, flawless, objectively, but it just hasn't captured my attention in the same way at all.
Yeah, this is what I mean. If I was listening to the Mimic's Veil now, this is where I'd be nodding sagely. That's exactly what I think. Silksong is like, I've got a little section at the bottom of my Games of the Year list, games that I'm going to have to talk about that aren't on my Games of the Year list.
Yeah.
And Silksong is firmly in that camp.
You mentioned Clair Obscur there as well. Is that, I can't remember, did you finish that? Or how did you get
Played
on
it, loved it, think about it a lot, struggle with the parrying a bit.
Yeah.
But it did have a lower difficulty for mortals like myself, and so I was able to see the end of the story, if not to engage with the most of the third act, which is like a ramping up of the combat mechanics.
Yeah.
You get to walk around and fight like massive monsters, basically, or you can just go and finish the game. And so I just went and finished the game.
Hey, me too. There's no shame in that. I did exactly the same. And as much as I loved it, I think when I'm approaching that finish line, and again, this might be just a podcast pressure thing, but it's like, okay, well, I can finish this now, so I will. So then I can talk about it, and then I can move on to the next thing, which again, is a bizarre and it's a bizarre way to play games, because most of my friends have enjoyed that third act and gone around traveling about the map and getting into various battles and stuff. But yeah, I
tried to do that, man. I was like, okay, now it's our little time where we have our vehicle to explore the world fully. And so now I can go to those sky islands that I've been looking at, and like those remote beaches that I couldn't get to. And I went there and got killed immediately and was like, okay, I guess that's
all right. Maybe another
the
time.
open world freedom section of the game is actually like it's for combat enthusiasts, basically. But I love the game. Like the writing was something else. I think the way that the story unfolds is shouldn't work. You can't talk about it because it's behind the sort of spoiler wall.
Yeah.
But some of the twists in the story are things that I intuitively wouldn't like in a story, but somehow love here.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good game.
No, same. So the other one on my list, and this going completely other end of the year from Citizen Sleeper 2 to something super, super recent, is Dispatch. This is one, and I do this quite often throughout the year, and Arc Raiders was another example of this. Paid zero attention prior to release to Dispatch. Didn't really, I just thought, okay, yeah, screenshots, yeah, looks cool. That was it.
A weird one, wasn't it? It was like some weird, like high budget Hollywood VN thing. I was like, I don't really know what that is.
Exactly. And in fact, Alex played it, and he didn't really know what it was, and he played it, and he was pretty low on it because he was expecting a game, as you would. But it's very much just a cool superhero story, very grown up superhero story with some really light gameplay elements. One of which is terrible, really. It's just a little hacking mini game, which
hacking's not fun, is it?
Awful in any game. I've never enjoyed that.
It's like sub Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, exactly. And at least in Ratchet and Clank, you can completely skip them, which you can't. I'm not sure if you can do in this. There might be somewhere in the accessibility settings actually, but aside from that, I absolutely loved this, and I really enjoyed the episodic release of the anticipation of waiting for next Wednesday so I can play the next 2 episodes, because it just completely grabbed me. Just the production values that, I mean, I try to be above all of that stuff and think I'm not going to be wowed by your fancy graphics and your great acting. But I got completely swept up in it and cared about the decisions. Yeah. So that's, again, just a complete surprise for me, but one that I loved. Definitely.
Same here. I'm really struck by it. When they said it was like a leftover script that got cancelled in COVID, I was like, this is like some kind of emergency measure. Like it's gonna bear the scars of that journey. I thought, it's gonna be like a sort of half show, half game sort of salvage effort. And I was a little skeptical about it, but going into it, I couldn't have been more wrong. I think it's like the direction of it has. Like it has a director's eye. Like it is a directed thing. Like every camera angle, every scene, every shot composition, and the way that the characters perform is like it's a cut above a lot of video game acting. I mean, it is Aaron Paul and it is like Jeffrey Wright. I couldn't believe was in it when I heard that voice.
And he's
I was
amazing
like,
in it as well, isn't he? Brilliant.
Yeah, he's amazing in everything. I just couldn't believe he was in it. And even like the blonde blazer, and some of the other characters. It's just like watching a show. It's entirely entertaining and gripping for the time that you're watching those sequences. It has like a sense of humor that I was a bit worried about. I was like, is this going to be a bit like Deadpool, Beavis and Butthead? And like it is a touch, but not in a way that is off-putting. It's actually just had me chuckling like all the time. Like every episode there's something in there. Just the little kind of dirty jokes basically that they have in there. And it's a very human story as well. Like I waited for it all to be out, and I'm playing 1 episode a night. Just finished episode 6, so I've got 2 more to go. And yeah, loving it. I think for me, it's like maybe the best visual novel style game I've ever played.
Yeah. I would have to agree with that. I think I'm hard pressed to think of anything better than that. I haven't played a great deal of those sort of Telltale style games. I played the Game of Thrones one last year. Had a good time with that, but not a patch on this. Like I just think this is just perfection for that style of sort of light touch game. Just entertainment.
Yeah, and in the same way that like something like Immortality is like at the join between sort of art house cinema and video games. This is at the join between like Netflix and video games.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like this multimedia thing that is perhaps something a bit new that we're probably going to see more of because it seems like it's done really well.
I'm quite enjoying this, John, because this is like, I feel like I'm kind of saying, is it okay for me to like this? And you're going, yeah, it is. Which is good.
It is. It's really good. Yeah, to my surprise too.
Yeah.
I've got one more game that's a little bit like it on my list, and you've played a bit of this one as well. Battlesuit Aces. It's another visual novel style game. It's made by the people who made Battle Chef Brigade, Trinket Studios, their second game. Battleship Brigade was great, slick, beautiful, sort of sketched visual novel sections, and then some like fun light gameplay in between. A little bit like Dispatch, but the gameplay is a lot better. And Battlesuit Aces is like that, but with visual novel and card game. So you're kind of going through a story where you have little dialogue choices, but they don't really matter. And then every now and then you get into a mech battle, and it's kind of episodic. Like it's like Star Trek. It's like Stardate 625B. We arrive at the water planet, and then there's a little bit of story, and then you get into your card battle with the sea monster, and you get to play with your mechs and like get your synergies going, and then back to the story. And that's really worked for me. Each episode is like episode. It's not formally episodes, but like each little gameplay section chunk is like 10, 20 minutes. And there's like a campaign where you are trying to fight back an alien invasion in a star system. So you can kind of get into the meta story. Lots of little relationships inside of it as well. You've been playing it as well, but fell off, right?
Yeah, it's one of them where, I appreciated everything about it. Again, really slick and polished, as anyone that's played Battleship Brigade would expect, because it's got that same level of sheen to it. But I think there was something, because I love a card battler, and the gameplay in this almost reminded me of Star Vaders that we were talking about earlier. But there's just something missing, or something that didn't quite grab me in that, either the story or the gameplay, that was just like it's nearly there. It's got all the pieces, but there's something not quite gelling. So
there's no edge in the story. Maybe it's that for you specifically. Like it's very like manga, like anime style, right? It's all like clean cut people having clean cut people problems.
Yeah, exactly. Which maybe I'm just really childish, and that's why Dispatch connected as possible.
Quite a surprisingly gay game as well. Like everyone in the game seems to be gay or queer in some way. And there's like one story section where there's like relationship between two prominent male characters in the game, and in a way that kind of took me back a little bit. I was like, there's a lot of queer characters in games, but I don't think I've ever seen a game that was like about gay romance in this way between men. It was like, oh wow, that's unusual. Never seen that in a game before, actually. But I've had a bug in this game, man. Like I hit a bug where there was a patch, and then on the ship map, the fireworks are going off, and it says campaign complete. Play endless cards, and you can't revert your save. It's one of those single save file games.
Damn.
And I was like 15 hours into a 20-hour game. Talking to the developers a little bit about it, and they're like trying to revert it. They sent one patch that was supposed to maybe revert it and didn't. So I'm just kind of paused. And like very much like you're saying on the podcast schedule, when you're like trying to get through your games, you have momentum with a game, right? And it's critical. And so my momentum in this brilliant game that was in the upper crust area of the list there is currently just got a pin in it, basically. Not sure if I'll be able to finish it, which is a real shame.
That is annoying. Well, if it's any consolation, you've said enough to make me at least want to go back to it and put a few more hours into it, because it's definitely, as I said, it's got all the pieces of a game that I would love, hence wanting to play it in the first place. So I will add that to my list of ones to go back to, alongside Death Stranding 2. Yeah. It's going to be a busy end of the year for me. Jesus.
I will say actually that Battlesuit Aces, it gets a little bit harder, and there were times when my builds were saving my ass. Like I'd made a card that would like become more powerful in certain gameplay circumstances that became my like finisher. And if I hadn't managed to crack that, I don't think I would have been able to get past some of the battles. So it did actually get to an interesting point where build crafting was getting more important.
Okay. That's good to know, because I do like kind of getting under the hood and getting nerdy with build crafting and stuff. So speaking my language.
But we've got like a couple left here. Have you got time for a couple more?
Yeah, of course. What's next?
So you've got a couple left here. One of the ones that you have left is on my 2 playlist. Actually, it's very much on my 2 playlist. It's been sitting there on my desktop of my like a PC handheld, and it's been picking up a lot of. It was in the Games for Impact at the Game Awards, and it's like up for best game in the Indie Game Awards. And I was like, okay, I really have to get to this one. Consume Me. You've been playing that?
Yeah, I love that. Because it won the Seamus McNally Grand Prize as well, didn't it, earlier this year?
Oh, I missed that actually. Did it?
Yeah, and that's what initially put it on my radar as something to keep an eye on. And seeing the developers on social media, and they're just so likable, and that counts for a lot. It's just like I want this game to do well as much as they do, because they've poured their heart and soul into it. It's an autobiographical game as well, with basically it's a kind of life sim, I would say. It's probably the best way to describe it, where it's an RPG / life sim where you're playing as this teenage girl who is just trying to navigate the perils of being a teenage girl. So worried about weight loss, worried about boys, worried about doing well at school, keeping her mum happy, all the rest of it. And it's told in such a heartfelt way, and all of the gameplay elements are basically managing her stress levels. So it's kind of, the headline was, it's about losing weight, but it's really not at all. Like, that's the first gameplay element you're introduced to, but it's just about kind of balancing all of those things. And I think the cleverest thing that it does is it makes you feel as stressed as she is at any given time. So I always think that's quite clever in a game. So it's like something like Celeste, for example, where, you're trying to climb this mountain, but the mountain is a metaphor for Madeline trying to overcome her demons and things like that. And this Consume Me is very much like that, where the gameplay and the story are in complete sync. And it's just, again, like I said about Ooh, it just feels like it's brilliantly designed start to finish. I don't think it's going to be for everyone, because I think some people might go, oh, this is a bit woke, or this is a bit this is a bit like, oh, why would I want to play it and know how a teenage girl might be feeling? But I think if you've got any kind of humanity about you at all, I think there's so much to love about this. And yeah, so it's a short one again. I think probably it took me about 6 to 8 hours to finish. And yeah, just again, that extracting that value from a game, I feel like I've left Consume Me feeling like I'd got a lot from it, and yeah, that's why it stuck with me, I think.
Yeah, I like this. I've sort of watched trailers for it and stuff, right? And there's a lot of sort of slightly slapstick-looking gameplay where it looks like she's trying to walk a dog, and the dog's going out in the road, and like a coat's falling off, and she's like, "Oh, and I'm also hungry." And so it seems to be a little bit in this really funny way about like day-to-day existential trouble of trying to be a person or something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all represented in these sort of WarioWare madcap micro games almost. So there's that, and there's the sort of Persona style getting your social stats up, which again, I really like that as well. So these sort of mismatched styles of different games all put into this lovely little cohesive package somehow against the odds. It's it's a really good. I'm actually shocked that you haven't played it, because it feels like a Gaming in the Wild game. Like when I was playing it, I was like, oh, can't wait to hear what John. I was playing it thinking, I can't wait to hear what John says about this, because it feels you have to play it. I insist.
Yeah. I have got it. It is high on my 2 playlist, and I do like as well, like we're talking about a little bit with like Battlesuit Aces. Like this one is like there is like a very specific sense that you get even as like some white person, that like there is a sense of Asian womanhood that involves a lot of expectation and strength. There's like a unique sense of selfhood that goes on, and I feel like Consume Me is maybe like telling that story to us in a really interesting way. Yeah,
I think so. And that reminds me of an interesting parallel with, and I probably won't get time to get to this, but another one on my list was South of Midnight. And that, again, that was a story from the perspective of a young black girl in Southern America. And that is just a story that you wouldn't hear normally. And the fact that it just brought you into that world, and you could almost feel how humid it is there in the swamps. And it's just everything about it. Again, the music, the visuals, gameplay, pretty rubbish, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah,
but
it's not great, is it? Combat.
But it's
skippable.
It is skippable. That's true. More games, just make your gameplay skippable. That's what we want. But that, it's interesting how this year both of those games have stuck with me, and that's given me a perspective of someone's experience that I wouldn't ordinarily have a single clue about. So
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, I'm really into that as well, actually. It's like as the world sort of opens up in a way over the last decade or whatever, it feels like a lot of pop music used to come from the States, and now it's coming from like South Korea and it's coming from India, and like it feels like, not to get too like heavy on it, but like there is like a swing where culture, the West has been consuming Western culture for so long. We grew up on it, and like occasionally something slipped through, like manga, or like Bollywood or something. But it feels like now contemporary culture is kind of happening everywhere, and we've got access to it in ways that we didn't have before. That's like one of the best things you can get out of a game, right? It's like learning something, enjoying yourself. It sounds a bit pretentious, but
hey,
that's going to happen on Gaming in the Wild. But it really does mean a lot to me that like we're getting these like games from people you maybe haven't heard from that much in games before.
Absolutely, and helps us feel less guilty about playing Arc Raiders. So
and PowerWash Simulator 2, which is on my list, which is such a letdown. Like after all of this nice chat about the cultural weight of games, like playing PowerWash 2 and just like cleaning stuff in the most brain off, soothing way. I don't know what to do with this game in terms of GOTY stuff, because PowerWash, I always have like my number 10 slot is like the wildcard slot. It's the weird one slot. And it's been like Coffee Golf, the phone game, because I played it every single day for the whole year. And I was like, well, it was a big part of my gaming year. I'm going to put it in the wild one slot. I've got one locked in there now, but PowerWash 1 was in that slot too, because it's like this boring PowerWash game. Wonderfully crafted. Like it's got like, layers of dirt encrusted onto these giant lovingly made scenes. The scenes themselves are interesting. In PowerWash 2, for example, there's like an Art Deco hotel or something, or like a ski capsule at the top of a mountain with like the lifts coming up and down. And all of the materials of the place, like the leather on the seats and the like wavy plastic on these like signs that have just been weathered by time, and they have different kinds of encrusted dirt onto them. Like the seats, you can just sort of sweep it away because it's like slick material. But then sometimes if it's like a gritty surface, it'll have like dirt like really encrusted on it. And you have to like get a hose pipe and really get in there, like soap it up and get it off. And so it's like this ongoing puzzle of how to clean these environments, which is psychologically satisfying in some hard to pin down lizard brain way. And then it's like setting the world in order to combat my anxiety. But then you also have these like beautiful scenes to see, like these places. So you get to really, like, a lot of time in games, I feel like games are trying to make us look at the world. It's like they've put all of this time into the world. So we're going to have a quest where you have to go into the cornfield and look at the corn.
Yeah.
And you're going to do it, all right?
Yeah.
Like in Final Fantasy. Whereas PowerWash is a game that is like built around that. It's like you have to kind of witness the entire environment meter by meter to finish the game. And they've put so much care into those environments. And I find it so soothing and so clever, but it is entirely without worth in other ways. Like, we're talking about some of the other games on this list and what they bring to the table. Like, I don't know what to do with PowerWash when you're putting it next to an emotional game about someone's like opening their heart about their existence. Like, what do I do?
Well, I think the simple answer is you get different things from different games, right? It's like, you can, and it doesn't mean one is more important than another. If this is a game that relaxes you in an otherwise hectic hellscape of a world, then that's got just as much value, I guess. But I've never played the first one or this one, but I've heard so many, like Alex again, to mention him. He's
I bet he loves it. Yeah.
Big fan of this. I was chatting to, as we were playing Arc Raiders last night, I was chatting to one of the guys, and he was just like, "Yep, fell asleep playing PowerWash 2 last night." And
it's my bedtime game. Man. It's an episode of Dispatch, a run of Arc Raiders, a little bit of power washing, and then off to bed.
And that is life in 2025 in a nutshell. That's all you need.
Yeah. I only got one other game on my list here, Promise Mascot Agency. Again, like, I sometimes think, like, we've all got the things that make up our taste, right? And there is a big part of my gaming life that is into, like, something substantial. Or, like, there's a big part of my gaming life that is just into a big open sci-fi world where I can, like, play out the wild dreams that I might have had when I was younger, like to be able to have a game that's a universe, right? And then there is another part of my brain that just wants to relax a little bit. And so you get the power washes slipping into my taste bracket. And Promise Mascot Agency is like a game that actually ticks a few of those boxes because it's a funny little open world. It's like a dead end town in Japan. It's a funny little story that's got some of that otaku, like walking piece of tofu character and comedy and like Nyan cats and all of that. And then it's also just like a nice little collectathon where you drive around in your van, picking up everything you see, which is incredibly soothing to me. It's like Spyro the Dragon. You're just getting all the crystals. And so it's like a real nice little conflagration of like wild Japanese style open world gameplay and just soothing routine that kind of hit for me. And I think maybe because the aesthetic of it, if this one is so strong, it's got like a sort of VHS tape 80s like pulp Yakuza movie, and the script of it has kind of got a little bit of edge to it as well. A character called Pinky, who is like a maniac teen girl who's actually just a walking finger, and is like sweet and murderous within the same sentence. You're just like left squinting at what you're playing, just thoroughly entertained. My girlfriend was laughing so much at me playing this game. Like she'd look over my shoulder and I'd just be like talking to this girl who's like, "I'm going to go and fuck up the mayor." And she's like, "What are you playing?"
Yeah,
but I think
I agree.
That one's quite high on my list actually. It's like it's something about it, just pushing it up just a little bit.
I think it is that. Yeah, there is that extra little. Probably the thing that I haven't yet found in Battlesuit Aces. It's got that extra little something, that bit of quirkiness that just pushes it over the edge somehow. So yeah, the cool thing about that is we actually commissioned the character artist from Promise Mascot Agency to do our Mimics Vale podcast artwork. So those three chameleons on the front cover that represent Lewis, Alex, and I are all done by Inco, the same artist who did the cool Promise Mascot Agency art. So very proud of that. So this one will always have a special place in my heart, and definitely got a place on my top 10 as well.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. Since you did that, I've been thinking I should do something similar. It's like, wow, that's such a good idea to like have something done in the style of a game that way. That must have been really satisfying to pull together.
Yeah, it was lovely. We did it to kind of celebrate our first year, I think, or no, episode 50, so first year basically as well. And we just thought it was a nice way to do that. And yeah, whether we because we do bespoke like cover art for each episode, but it's nice to have like something that's permanent for like the main artwork for it. So yeah, it was cool to be able to do that.
Yeah, and that game's going to be. It sounds like it's going to be on your list as well. I'm quite curious where our overlap will end up because we've got like quite a few of the same games we played here. And I guess we didn't talk about some of the big ones. We talked about Clair Obscur a little bit, Silksong a little bit. Interesting that for both of us, those games are just not a factor, and they're two of the biggest games of the year. And we also talked a little bit about trying to polish some stuff off. I've still got loads of stuff left to play, man. Like Absolum came really firmly onto my radar after all of the nominations it got. I'm playing it now, and I can see why people are so hot on it. It's crazy. Like this incredibly slick. I mean, did you ever play when you were growing up or like games like Golden Axe, Double Dragon?
Yeah. I mean, that Streets of Rage was my absolute favorite game for several years back in the Mega Drive era. So yeah,
right.
Absolum is the modern version of that. It's fantastic. So good.
So good. I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to play a side-scrolling beat 'em up ever again. You know, it was like kind of, that's an old genre. But then I play this one and like it is possible to just rework it. Like the keyframe animation and the way the gameplay feels, where if you get close enough to an enemy and they're not in an action, you can grab them and then throw them down and it will like interfere with other enemies. You can like get mounts, you can punch an enemy off a mount, get on the mount, just like Golden Axe.
Yeah.
And it all feels so slick, intuitive, and like as someone who's not that into beat 'em ups or like Street Fighter-y type games, it just felt silky smooth. I was like, anyone can come into this game and pull off some impressive looking stuff on the screen without having to learn like a 12 button combo, you know?
Exactly. And very, very forgiving and generous difficulty options as well, which I was very pleased to see. So I could turn those right down and actually see beyond the first few levels, which was good.
Yeah. So that one is on my list. Blippo is on my list. It's this strange little Playdate game. where they managed to make a FMV style game with the turn handle, where you're channel hopping through like strange art house television, basically. I've opened it, played a little bit of it, felt incredibly confused and closed it again. But there's going to be one day when I open it and I'm like, okay, I get it. I can tell it's out there. It's like a mood that I haven't been in. But I need to play Blipper because it's something so strange.
And it's another one of them that is like, is this even a game? Isn't it? Is this basically you're just watching FMV and cycling through it?
Yeah, I don't know what else the game is. Like I switched through a couple of channels and there's like some kind of it's like 80s late night Channel 4 like film of some bubbles and someone saying like, and this is how the jellyfish breathe. Then you like wind it and it's like a clown doing a little dance like a Twin Peaks nightmare. And I was like, what is the game in here? Like I sort of switched through a few channels. And so I'm curious to see if any further game than the aesthetic offering like emerges from it.
I'm curious to see what mood you have to be in to play and enjoy it as well, because that's the weird one.
Yeah. A couple of those. Wonder Stop is on my list of still to play. I feel like as someone who's had burnout and talked about it on the podcast, and it's part of my relationship with games, coming back from burnout, playing games, and kind of finding it to be useful in a way that I talked about PowerWash. Like not playing Wonder Stop feels like some kind of capital crime, but it's like you got to play Wonder Stop. But it is also a game that is about slowing down and farming gameplay, right? So you have to do the farming gameplay. You have to, and that's what's putting me off. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do 10 hours of like, even if it's narratively amazing.
It's
tea.
It's an odd one. So I have played a bit of it, but the game is almost about not feeling pressured to play games. So I'm like, I don't feel any urgency to get back to this now. It's almost like it's deliberately not fun. Exactly. It's completely like, as an artistic choice, lacking in all of that. No, you have to get back. You have to do this. You have to do this. Oh, what's going to happen next? There's none of that at all. So hence I don't feel like I want to play it. Which
it's kind of the same with me, actually. It's like, I feel like I should though. I feel like I've got to just like get my focus together and like address Wonder Stop, even if like the gamer part of me just doesn't particularly feel excited about playing it. Yeah,
I feel the same. I do feel like I should. I feel like I'm doing it a disservice by not at least seeing it through, because there's I'm going to take some sort of message from it, something nice. But
and some people that have played it have said like, it's worth the ride. But I don't know. That's one of the ones that I'm like looking at it and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to happen this year. But you've got a few here as well. You've got like Seance at Blake Manor, which came out of nowhere and like hit high on Metacritic. It's like in the 90s. It's up there with Hades 2 in terms of its score. That's a bonkers late year game.
Crazy. And it's another one of them. Didn't have a clue about it. Wasn't on my radar whatsoever. But again, I think it was listening to No Clip again that Danny was just raving about it. And again, that their tastes on that podcast tend to align with mine as well. So I'm like, okay, well, if they say it's good, then I probably should check it out. And yeah, I know it's got quite a lot in common with the Golden Idol games, and it didn't 100% get on with them. So yeah, I don't know where I'll land on this one, but I feel like, again, to do my due diligence for the year, I should at least give it a look in.
And you've also got one that I have played a little bit of, Silent Hill F. Played like an hour or two of that around Halloween time. Very taken with the scenario, a little less taken with the gameplay, but it's definitely a big one for the year. Are you planning on? That's quite a chunky one as well. If we're talking about easy little canapé games to try and finish out the year, that's not exactly that, is it? It's a substantial one.
Yeah, it's tricky. I think it's about 10 hours on How Long to Beat, and I know they have recently released some new difficulty options as well for the combat, so that appeals to me more and more the more that they do to it. But yeah, again, for me, it was the setting of it. It was so Silent Hill's never really interested me, but suddenly you put it in Japan, I'm like, oh, okay, let's check that out. It just became 10 times more interesting, and continuing my theme of the year of playing as a teenage girl in lots of different games, apparently. So yeah, I feel like I should do that as well.
Yeah, it is cool. Like it's one of those games where you're walking around the world and just focusing on details. But there was in the first hour, I was like, okay, so the fog comes and it's like spooky in the town, but like where is the weird? And then there was definitely a moment where I was like, oh, there is the weird. Like the weird is present. The weird is present in this game in a way that I was that hit the spot for me. It needed something a little more crazy, basically, and it is in there. There are some moments that gave me a chill even in the opening. So definitely something there.
That's cool. Yeah, I think this will be one where, yeah, for example, if it's a good price, then I might take the plunge. I think it's too much of a risk to pay full price for it because I'm not 100% sure whether I like it or not. So, yeah, if I see it for, I don't know, £25, £30, I might go for it. But we'll
Might be like a next Halloween.
Yeah, very true. And I know, Silent Hill 2 remake has recently come to PS Plus. So, if all else fails, at least I can dabble in that one.
And you have got one game on your 2 playlist that I've not heard of before. What's this one? The last one?
Oh, how do we pronounce that again? It's Shujinku. So this again is another one that I think the reason I came across it in the first place was just from Fantasy Critic and looking what were the top games of the year on OpenCritic, and this is one of them, but only based on a handful of reviews from quite obscure RPG focused sites.
Okay.
But I think it's basically a sort of first person dungeon crawling RPG that teaches you Japanese as part of the gameplay.
Oh, I've heard of it. I heard of this on NoClip. Frank was playing it.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it was. It just sounded like a very interesting concept. I think it's quite long, and I think I probably haven't got around to it yet because of that. It's also quite expensive. I think it's about £40 or £50, which for an indie, one developer is kind of more than we're probably used to paying for something like that.
Bold pricing.
It is bold pricing, but at the same time, looking at the reviews on Steam, people are like, well, no, it's totally worth it. It's one of the best indie games of the year, and yet it doesn't seem to be getting a great deal of coverage. So again, as part of that sort of due diligence, I feel like I should try it at the very least. And yeah, I mean, if I can learn Japanese at the same time, then great.
Yeah, you can play Silent Hill F without the captions. I left the Japanese voice acting on that one for sure. Also a big fan of that kind of setting and vibe. Okay, nice. So that's a really good list you had there, man. You've put a couple things up my list for sure. Consume Me goes up my list definitely. And in Icelandic that would be like So every time I look at that word, I get like a little bit of panic before I say it. But yeah, I'm gonna buy that one, especially if it's just a $5. Give that a little spin for sure.
And likewise, yeah, I will. I'll put a few more hours into Death Stranding 2 just so I can formulate a more rounded opinion on that one. Definitely.
Right. I think if you there's like an opening area in Death Stranding 2. I don't know if you completed that, but then.
Yeah, so I think I got to the point where you're let loose into the open world. I think that's where I put it down. So I got past the main sort of intro section.
The plate gate.
Yeah. So
yeah. It picks up quite rapidly after that. The first couple story missions there definitely like break in some of the major systems, I think. Yeah, I'll be curious where you come down on that one.
And we didn't get around to it, but I know And Roger is on your list of games to get to as well. Yeah,
that's the one I didn't mention. Did you play that one?
I've played that one, and again, you have to play it. Don't ask any questions. Don't do any research whatsoever. Just play it. That's one of them. And it's about
and that
hour
one is
and a half
apparently
long,
like under an hour, right? So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when you have actually like finished with your Games of the Year process, you're going to do an episode for Mimics Veil, right?
Yeah, we will. So we'll put it out sort of around Christmas time, probably a week or two before that. So we'll probably do what we did last year, which was come up with the coolies, which are the coolest games of the year, and just go back and forth on the list of what would be on that. And I think we're also going to do the Dusties this year, which is the old games that came out pre 2025 that we've played and enjoyed this year. So yeah, there'll be a couple of episodes that sort of sum up what we've enjoyed this year.
Can you remind me, is the Coolies like a wrestling match where you're all trying to come up with one list that you agree on, or is it like 3 separate lists?
So we did it last year where we basically just round robined about 10 games that we loved. I would like to introduce a bit more debate, and I do love a list. I love a top 10 list. So I'd love if we can do that. But I think the nature of our podcast being so sort of conversational, it will probably just be, yeah, this was good. Oh, but this was good too. And just be pretty freeform jazz casting. But we'll see. We'll see what we can come up with.
I look forward to it. So where would people go if they wanted to find the Mimic's Veil?
Yeah, I mean, just look for the Mimic's Veil in any podcast service, or we're on Blue Sky, and I think that's probably all you need to do. Patreon.com/the Mimic's Veil is also where we put our monthly Patreon podcast as well, and we've got a lovely little Discord community on there. But yeah, those are the main places.
Yeah, I'm a patron, and I look forward to Chinbat episodes as well. Really fun.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's that. I mean, that is jazz casting. That is literally, we go in with no plan whatsoever, and whatever nonsense comes out is an episode, basically.
Yeah, and so it's been really fun to have you on. Thanks a lot for making the time. Mimic's Veil is awesome. Really good to talk about these games. Thanks for pushing me to play Consume Me. And I look forward to your end of year podcast. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thank you, John.
So there we have it. What a great guest episode. Thanks very much to Ben from the Mimic's Veil for coming onto the podcast. Check out the Mimic's Veil wherever you get your podcasts. And if you enjoyed this one, maybe check out the Gaming in the Wild Patreon. There is a suite of over 20 bonus podcast episodes, including a new one that I put up this week about the best video game music of 2025. You also get an invite to the patron-only Discord server, which is a wonderful corner of the internet to talk about video games with like-minded people. And best of all, I still have game codes to give away to new patrons. So sign up now and you can get a code for 1,000 times Resist, Ultros, In Other Waters, or Citizen Sleeper. Special thanks as always to my boss tier patrons, ShyGuy, KingChamp, Cerys, SusannaMaria, Nate, and Syd B. You can join the boss tier patron and you too can get a thank you on every video I make. So until the next one, take care of yourselves and each other, and bye-bye for now.